Now if I can introduce to you the Vice President of the Carina Mens Shed, Mal Weir, just to say a few words.
The Mens Shed here is a unique shed in Australia. There's several things about it. Firstly, men's sheds usually cater to men in their sheds and they get together and they do their things, whatever that is. But this one is in, as Steve said, the Clem Jones Centre. There's a whole heap of other clubs, if you want to call them that, in this centre that we interact with, and we'll interact with a lot more in the future. And so that's a big extended community group. And then beyond that, the people that are here and the people that are at these clubs also extend way out in the community all over Queensland, probably all over Australia. That gives us a very big community leverage. And men's sheds are a force to be reckoned with in this country simply because they are so many, so plentiful, and they have tentacles out into the real community. So this is a real community shed. Not all of them are, but this one is. The shed, if I try to explain the shed, I can explain our shed, because there are other sheds that don't look like this. In fact, in Brisbane there's one shed, they don't want a shed. The men meet, they call themselves a men's shed, and they visit hospitals and they go and do all sorts of other things, but they don't have a physical shed. They have a bus or cars to go to places. So that's a difference. So basically it's a place where men can go and associate, talk to other people, have a cup of coffee, they can learn from other men, they can teach other men, they can look after their physical, emotional, mental health issues by coming to one of these places and associating and not being bored and not being depressed by staying at home. So traditionally they tend to have woodworking machinery because that's what men did. They went down to the shed and they played with lumps of wood and tinkered with cars and so on. So what this shed is being determined, it's work in progress, and if everybody here leaves and everybody else comes in, they all want to play marbles, it's probably a marbles shed. So we came from George's house, under his house, single garage, that's what we had. To this is like a palace compared with it in terms of size, it's fantastic. Now, Steve gave his story about how it all started. I won't go past that, I think that's a pretty good story. But I'd like to say that two people in absolute particular, Steve and Steve Kilburn and Steve Hill, without which we would not have this shed. They have been absolute supporters all of the time, absolutely for the shed. The one thing about it is that when we went and spoke to these people, we didn't have to explain what a men's shed was. They had a concept, they had an understanding. Often you meet somebody and they say, what the hell is this men's shed? We don't have to tell them. So they knew, and it was through their dedication, their support, and their perseverance with Georgie and I that got this shed here, so they need to be congratulated. And for a politician, he's a good one.